It's the Spotterstown Live, starring BSR Pockets, BSR Hot Rod, BSR Momo, BSR Joba, BSR Scar, BSR SR5, featuring Bubba J, Vince Conway, Trish Yeager, Bandit, Gear, Eddie D, Palmion, Eli, musical guest, BSR Mayhem, and your host, BSR Texan. Ladies and gentlemen, BSR Texan.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Spotter Stand. Coming at you live. Just left Richmond. Had a great week of racing. Raced in the dirt on Wednesday night at Weed Sport. Wednesday night in the dirt. And Richmond Motor Speedway Thursday and Friday night in the Cup and Xfinity Series. We had some great racing this week. Not only in the dirt, but great racing at Richmond. We had some green flag pit stops, had some new winners, as you will see this week. One of our own, Hot Rod, took a win in the Chase this week. Speaking of Hot Rod, we've got Hot Rod with us here tonight. Also Eddie D and Rugrat joining us. We're still waiting on Pockets to make his way in here. I think he's having some trouble with the stairs tonight. He didn't eat his Wheaties, but I'm sure he'll be along here before we're finished up. So we appreciate all you guys joining us out there, watching live. And how you guys doing tonight, Eddie, Hot Rod, Rugrat?
Doing good, Texan. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
I'm good.
It's been a pretty good week. I didn't have the best races, but I can't really complain. They weren't terrible. We had a lot of fun, and like I said, we had some green flag pit stops, and you can't beat long green flag runs at Richmond. So let's jump right into it here on Wednesday night. We ran the Dirt Series, ran at Weed Sport this week, and Weed Sport, it was our own BSR Hot Rod, the Foot Doctor, that took the victory at Weed Sport. Jumped up and stole that race away from BSR Pockets, believe it or not. Pockets led the most laps in this race, was doing great, having a great race, and just made a little mistake at the end, and Hot Rod able to take advantage, pass him, and take that victory away, man. Great job, Hot Rod. Great racing.
Yes, great race, Larry.
Yes, thanks, guys. It was a good race. Yep, I was just following Pockets around. I wasn't pushing him. I was just kind of riding around behind him, waiting for him to make a mistake, and he was doing a phenomenal job. He just got a little loose, bumped the wall one time, slid up the track, and I just tucked underneath him and drove away.
Well, I know you're in second place currently in the points, and you know, you didn't finish far ahead of Eli, who's currently in first, but still being able to finish ahead of him, you gained at least a point on him. You know, with just 4 races left to go, that's all we got left here. 4 races.
Yep, I need about 2 points a race to get him, and I'm bound and determined I'm going to win out the season and make him decide who's going to win. Pretty much, that's my game plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's the game plan.
Well, I'm looking at them over here, and I think you actually need 3 points per race, is what it's showing currently. 3 points per race with 4 races left.
Is it 4? Is it 3?
Yeah.
Yes, it would be. Yes, absolutely would be. And that's going to be, that's almost impossible. But like I said, I'm going to win out and see what happens, and that's the game plan. That's not changing that strategy or goal.
Well, you got the heat races. Yeah, that's one spot you can gain an extra point. If you
Well,
can manage to win a heat, and Eli doesn't win a heat, then you can gain a point there. And then if you can just gain that 1 point in each of these four somehow, and then get the 2 points during the race, which is feasible. There might be a race
yeah,
in here. We've been getting good turnouts lately, actually, for these dirt races. So there could be a race where he has the same kind of luck that you've had in some of these, where toward the end he ends up in an incident, and closer to the back of the pack, you could gain well more than 3 points in one race. So you definitely still got a good shot at it.
yes, I'm working at it. I'm the only one that's got a shot at him, and I'm definitely have a game plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to do my best.
Speaking of the dirt, we got two of our drivers out in the audience tonight here. Gear Jammers out there and Chris Chaos.
I do. I see them out there chatting.
Yes, let's run down the lineup here, Texan, shall we?
Yeah, let's take a look at the finishing order here.
Yes, I won with a good win. Eli, second, managing to hang on to his points lead. Pockets, third. Texan, fourth. And Rugrat rounds out the top five.
Rugrat pulling it through there with the top five finish. She's definitely shown a lot of improvement since she started racing this dirt with us, and feeling more confident, actually getting up in there and racing with us, as opposed to moving out of the way and just letting everybody pass her all the time. So great job, Rugrat. Like I said, you've shown a lot of improvement, and it's good to see you out there actually racing. Instead of just letting people pass. Great job.
Thank you, and I'm really enjoying it. And I want to say thank you to Eddie and Paul Meow too, because they make it fun in the back when I'm out hanging out in the back. They all push me, and we go back and forth there for a little bit. So I had fun with you guys too on Wednesday.
I appreciate that, Rugrat.
I see Randy out there. Randy, you're not chopped liver, man. We love you coming and racing with us. I know a lot of times you can't make it in time, and you'll tune in and watch the stream. Hopefully, you'll be able to make this dirt race tomorrow night. Tomorrow we're going to be at Canandaigua. Is that right?
That's right. Canandaigua tomorrow night. That usually produces some really good racing, so we'll see.
I don't see Randy in this finish. It looks like he didn't make the race.
He didn't run this week, yeah.
Well, let's go take a look at the points, because I know he is in there. So, current point standings with this 4 races left to go in this dirt series, Eli does hold that top spot with a 12-point lead over Hot Rod. Look at Rugrat, third place, down by 60. Pockets in fourth, down by 75, and myself in fifth, down by 78. So Rugrat with the top 5 finish this week, and holding on to third place currently in the dirt series. That's pretty good. That's an accomplishment right there. You're ahead of Pockets and myself, and I think we've been to all of these races. I might have missed one, maybe. I don't know if Pockets has missed one or not, but you're you're doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I can hold my spot till the end of the season now.
4 races left to go, 15 points over Pockets, 18 points over myself. I don't think either one of us is going to be able to catch you.
Yeah, that's 5 points a race. You guys would have to get up there and actually probably win one in order to pass her.
Well, Pockets was surely trying this last week with leading the most laps. He was having a great race in the dirt, that's for sure.
If I remember right, last week on the spotter stand, did he not say that Tricia had to? How did he put that? I don't remember.
It all depends if I would rather be the chasee or the
Or the
chaser.
chaser. And at this point, he's the chaser. So
Yeah, and as I always say, I'd much rather be the chasee because you got that cushion available to have a bad race. If you're the chaser, you gotta perform every race. You gotta do everything you can do. You have a bad race and you just lose more points, Whereas if you're the chasee, if you're up in front, you already got that lead, you have a little bit of cushion, you can afford to have a bad race and still be in it. If you're the chaser, you have a bad race, that might be it. You might not have a chance after that.
in the dirt here, Kill, I kind of agree. I'd much rather be in Eli's position than in my position because all he has to do is keep me within sight, and he knows he pretty much has it sewed up. That's pretty much the way it goes.
Yeah, at 3 points per race. I mean, if he can finish within 2 spots of you every
Yep,
race, he's got it wrapped up.
like I said, as long as he can see me, he's pretty much got it sewed up. Now, if he can't see me no more, that he knows he's in trouble. He's got to get on the stick.
I just know I feel a lot confident about these next couple races, especially for the Springfield Mile now. I don't think I'll be down as many laps as I was in the beginning of the year, knowing how to take my tires and everything off. So
Your toughest track, Trisha, is probably going to be the Devil's Bowl. The Devil's Bowl is a rhythm track, and everybody, all the top guys, me, Texan, and Eli, we've all got lots and lots and lots of laps on that track already.
Yes, because we did a full season of
With
nothing
just the
but
Devil's
the
Bowl,
Devil's
yep.
Bowl. Yeah, 10 races, and still, that turn 1 and 2 at the Devil's Bowl there, it's a little bit different. Yeah, it's a dirt track where the two ends of the track are slightly different, and getting off a 2 without getting loose can be an issue. If you don't hit it just right, you'll get sideways.
No, that's a dirt track where that track. The reason I'm so good at that track is that track reminds me of Lernersville. Both corners are 100% different. One's flat, one's not. One's banked. One's banked real hard, and it's a D-shaped track, and the other end's flat, and that brings it in two totally different driving styles, and yeah, it's a tough track.
if you go look at the schedule for Devil's Bowl, the one we raced at the beginning of the year, I didn't do too bad. I wasn't down any laps, and I actually beat Pockets that race.
Yes, the big thing with the Devil's Bowl is the hardest part with the Devil's Bowl is learning how to get through turn 3. Turn 1, or not turn 3, turn 2, I'm sorry, turn 2. Turn 1 is how to get in, and then turn 2, you got to learn how to get off. And once you figure that out, turn 3 and 4 is pretty much just flat, normal, kind of dirt trackish. It's just low groove. You just got to get your rhythm down to go through it. But turn 1 and turn 2 are super tricky because getting into turn 1, if you get in too fast, screws up turn 2 really bad and may cause you. And if you get on the gas too early coming off of turn 2, you'll spin right out. So yeah, the trickiest part of that track's 1 and 2.
I can tell you one driver that'll be looking forward to going to the Devil's Bowl, and that'll be Palmian. He lives. I mean,
That's right. You and him both live right by the racetrack.
Yeah, where it's close. It's fairly close to me, but literally he can see the lights from the track when they're racing out there. He can hear the cars when they're racing out there. That's how close he lives to it. He sent me a picture July 4th of they had a fireworks show out there, and he could literally go right outside his door, watch the fireworks from the Devil's Bowl, and like I said, he can hear the cars when they're racing. at the Devil's Bowl. That's how close he lives to it. So whether he has a good race or not, it'll be cool for him just to be racing on that track.
Yep, that's his home track. That's good.
So let's go on and move over. We'll take a look at Thursday night, the Cup Series. We ran at Richmond night under the lights, and this was Chase race number 2 of the Cup Series, and it was once again BSR Hot Rod. This time in that number 65. Well, it's not this time. He was in that American Truck Simulator truck. What's the name of it?
Chrome Horn Cattle Company.
Yeah,
Chrome Horn Cattle Company.
Chrome Horn Cattle Company machine. Took the victory at Richmond, and that is a feat right there. Richmond is one of those rhythm tracks. It's not an easy track to take a win at. It's another one. It's like a paper clip. It's different at one end than it is at the other, and Larry did a great job. Had a great car, led a lot of laps, and brought home the victory at Richmond. So that's his first Cup Series win. And not only is it a Cup Series win, but it's a chase race win and a short track Richmond win. So, I mean, you just put it all together right there. You got your Cup Series win, you did it in the chase, and you won at a tough track like Richmond. So 2 races in a row, 2 nights in a row in the same week. BSR Hot Rod bringing home victories. Great job, man. Congratulations on the Cup win and the chase win.
Yes, thanks.
Another great win for you, Larry.
Yes, that one right there meant a lot because that's a historic NASCAR track, and that's kind of almost like me winning the truck race at Atlanta. That's just one of them ones that you don't get every day. It's kind of a prestige event. So yeah, that's. I still think though. If the damage that you and Momo would have been you guys wouldn't have had the damage, it would have been a little different race. Not saying I wouldn't have won, just saying it definitely would have been a different race.
It might have been a little closer. Maybe we'd have done a little bit more racing with you, but like I said earlier, the damage it definitely affected the way my car drove. It made it really loose with that spoiler having that frowny face on it like it did, but after a couple of pit stops, I was able to adjust. I put a lot of wedge in it and tightened it up, and it was drivable again. And my overall speed, I don't think was down that much on the straightaway. Maybe just a hair, but not very much. So, yeah, you definitely earned that one. Even if I hadn't have been damaged, I might have been able to be close to you, but I don't think I would have been able to beat you. So, great job, man.
Yeah, Templar. Momo was out out in front a lot, and he said his car wasn't really bad from the damage either. He was all maybe a tick on speed. His thing was his setup would give up on him. Get about 15 laps in, and his setup would go away, and that's where my car would come in at. It just dominate after that. So that was the big thing. I had a good long run car, and it just worked. It was pretty fast in the beginning too, but not as good as it was at the end. It just held up better than everybody else's.
Well, let's take a look at our race results from Thursday night's Cup race.
As I got the win, Mr. Pockets got second, Momo got third, Mayhem got fourth, and Texan rounds out top 5.
And also led 69 laps. So you led the most laps in that race. And you're right, Momo did spend a lot of time in the front. It looks like led 11 laps. Myself only managed to lead 5. And
no, Momo led 64.
Oh, 64. I'm sorry. Mayhem led 11.
Yes, Mayhem led 11.
Yeah, I only led 5 laps and finished a lap down. So I wasn't even able to stay on the lead lap in that race.
There was a point in time where I had everybody a lap down, the whole field, if you remember.
Yeah, we all we had green flag pit stops in that race, and I think I was actually so far down at that point. You actually had me 2 laps down. The rest of the field, you had a lap down, And
Yes.
I believe, didn't the caution come out right before you made your pit stop?
Yes, I was going in the next lap, and the caution came out. Yes.
Yeah, because we had one lucky dog there, and several of us took the wave around.
Pockets pitted as the caution came. He was pitting as the caution came out. That's why he got the lucky dog.
Yeah, he got the lucky dog, and I think it was Momo, Mayhem, and myself that took the wave around. And Momo Mayhem able to get back on the lead lap, but I stayed a lap down, and I don't think we had. I think it went green to the
It
end from
ended
there.
green. Yeah, it ended under green after
Yeah.
that. We didn't get another nothing. Yep.
So a couple of long green flag runs in the Richmond or at Richmond in the Cup Series. Green flag stops for everybody but Hot Rod, and a great race overall, I think, in the Cup Series at Richmond. Let's go over, take a look at how the points stand 2 races in to this chase in the Cup Series. We've got something here that I don't think has ever happened before. We've got a 3-way tie for the lead in the chase for the Cup. Mayhem, Momo, and myself, all 3 tied right now. 2 races into the chase. Pockets in 4th, down by 6, and Hot Rod in 5th, only down by 11. So you couldn't get much tighter than this in the chase, even with all the bonus points working out the way they do. We give, bonus points for attendance, bonus points for victories, and bonus points in some of the special races throughout the year. And even after all those bonus points being divvied up, and some people going into the chase a little bit ahead of others, after just 2 races, we got a 3-way tie for the lead with 8 races left to go in the chase. So you talk about anybody's championship. There's 5 guys up there that all have got a legitimate chance to win this championship. So, I mean, you can't get any closer than that. That's a tight race right there.
Yep, sure is.
And we're going to be heading into a road course this week in the Cup Series. The Charlotte Road Course is where we're going to be racing in the Cup Series on Thursday night. Some of you guys out there, if you still haven't made sure you can get into the server, don't have the track, remember, once you download the track, if you do not have an updated shared folder in your tracks folder, it's still not going to let you connect. So you will have to download not only the track, but a shared folder. And there is a shared folder in the OneDrive.
It's also in the lobby.
There is also one in the lobby in TeamSpeak. So make sure you get that, before the race, and you're ready to go, ready to come in and connect. There is a setup available. If you don't have a setup's available as well. So Charlotte Road Course, Charlotte Roval, coming up in the chase this coming week. We're definitely going to break this tie this next week.
Yes. I got information for you that you are not aware of.
Okay.
Mr. Pockets got in today with the Roval.
So he actually made sure he had it. He downloaded the track and got in.
Did it today. We got him in the server today.
So did he run any laps?
Yes, he doesn't like it very well, I will say that. But I don't like it either, so I can't get around that track. I have not been able to make a whole lap yet, so.
Well, Eddie D.
Even with your setup, I still can't get around that place. So
really, well, that Cup setup, I think I'm going to work on that a little bit. Maybe I'll do that tonight or tomorrow night, because I think I can make it a little bit better, a little bit more drivable, because it's tough in that Cup Series. You get on the gas a little too hard, and it will just go right around on you.
You do know that we're running this on Friday night also, right?
Yes, the Friday night setup that I have in the file browser, that setup I think is good. It's pretty well controllable. I haven't really had the car get out from under me any in that setup, so I think that setup's pretty good. So there is a Friday night setup in the CTS folder for setups, and that setup I think is pretty decent. Most guys will be all right with that. And Eddie D was in doing some practicing Sunday night in that Xfinity series. Actually, I think Eddie was running some pretty decent laps. You know, he ran enough laps to get to know the track, and you know, some of these guys that haven't been in and done any practicing, I think we got a rookie in here, Eddie D, that just might finish in front of a few of them come Friday night.
That's kind of a we'll see when it happens type thing.
Well, that's a tough spot. You know, that wall that you ran into several times, uh, there's going to be several people, I think, hit that wall, and I would not be surprised if at least one or even two end up finishing their night right there on that wall, because you hit that wall wrong and it's going to damage your car to the point where it just may not run anymore. So
Yes, that I can attest to.
I just can't get through either chicane. I can't get through the one on the back stretch, and I can't get through the one on the front stretch. And I'm better on the one on the front stretch than I am the one on the back stretch.
yeah, the one on the front stretch right before the start finish line, that's the last one. You really got to slow down for that one to make sure that you can make that right hander. You know, you can get in there really hot for that left hander, but if you're going too fast when it comes to that right hander, you're going to miss that turn. You're just going to go straight over the grass, and it's not easy to recover from that. That's a pretty good bump right there. So the first one, I mean, you can get through that pretty fast, but if you try to go too fast, that's where you're going to end up smacking that wall, because when you come out of that first chicane, that wall is right there on the left-hand side, and you try to get in there too fast, you're going to hit that wall, and it will do some damage to your car. That's for sure. Like Eddie said the other night, you know, I was trying to help him get through there a little bit faster, and you know, he said, I think it's better for me to just take it easy through there and make sure I can make it through rather than trying to gain speed and get through there fast. And that's probably what a lot of guys are going to have to do. You know, just slow down a little extra, make sure you can get through there, because better to get through without any incident than to end up hitting that wall coming off of that turn.
Well, you got those rumble strips as you're going through there, and if you catch them the wrong way, they're going to sling you to the opposite end, and that's where you're going to be all kinds of boogered up.
I personally, I like that track. I think the guys that made that did an awesome job. They did a great job making that track, and I like it. I like it's not a really long road course. The actual road course part of it is not really long. Plus, you got the straightaways on the regular part of the track where overall speed is going to come into play a little bit, and I just enjoy it. I like racing it. I love road courses, and I like that one. It's going to be tough in the Cup Series. Like I said, that car can get out from under you with that extra horsepower, but in the Xfinity, I'm pretty sure Friday night we're going to have a pretty good race there. It may be a little bit tough Thursday night. Speaking of Friday night, let's go over and take a look at the Friday night Xfinity Chase. Also ran at Richmond this last week. Another great race on Friday night. We did have green flag pit stops again Friday, did we not?
I think we did.
I'm pretty sure we did. But
We
I
only
know,
had 3 cautions, so I would imagine we did.
well, this Friday it was BSR Mayhem in that number 4 Bomb Squad racing machine that ended up taking the victory at Richmond. Mayhem had a great car Friday night, and he managed to pull out a win in this Xfinity Chase, gaining themselves some ground. Mayhem came into this chase a little bit behind on points because he wasn't able to make a lot of these races throughout the regular season. So he did not get full bonus points for attendance in segment 1 or segment 2. So he came into the chase here in the Xfinity Series a little behind in points, and this win definitely going to help him out as far as gaining some ground on the rest of the racers here in the chase. And I believe this puts us 4 races in to the Xfinity Chase with 6 races left to go before we hand out a championship. So congrats on the win. Mayhem, great job, great racing. And let's go over here and take a look at our race results from Friday night's race.
Yes, Mayhem with a great win. Texan second. Momo is third. Hot Rod fourth. And Eddie D rounds out the top five.
Eddie D, top 5 at Richmond. Good job, man. You finished ahead of Pockets, Scar, and Bubba J. And Gear had some trouble in that race. Ended up 109 laps down. Only able to make 51 of the 160 laps. Tough race for Gear. But Eddie D, great job, man, with the top 5.
Thank you,
Yeah, good
sir.
job.
Thank you, Rugrat. That one, once again, luck was with me, and I had a little fresher tires than Pockets did, and caught him right there on that last lap just before the finish.
Well, I see Eddie out there, or Gear Jammer out there in the chat saying looks like he'll be sitting out this week. I guess he doesn't like the road course, especially the new one we've never run before. I think you should come on in, Gear, and get in there and run a few laps before the race starts, and at least give it a shot before you decide you're going to sit out, because you might decide to go ahead and race with us.
Hey, Eddie. That was me a couple months ago. Your first couple ones might be luck, but once you get the hang of it and you start getting them, it's not just going to be luck no more. It's going to be you.
Well, I appreciate the words of encouragement, Rugrat. I really do.
And Eddie actually has been improving here lately. He's had some good runs at a couple of different tracks. So yeah, like she says, just give it a little bit more time, and you'll be right there racing with the rest of us.
Yeah, I think this Friday made my third top 5 of the season so far in all the series.
Well, Mayhem absolutely had the great car on Friday night. You can see there he led 128 of 160 laps. So he definitely dominated that race. I only led 8. Looks like Momo was able to lead 22. Eddie D, you did lead a lap in that race too. Hot Rod led 1, and you led 1 as well. So another accomplishment, leading a lap at any track, even if you have to stay out during a pit cycle to get it. Do what you got to do to get that extra point, and it goes a long way in the end. Like I've always said, especially say in a 10 race series like the Chase, if you lead 1 lap in each one of those 10 races, well, that's 10 points at the end of that 10 race series. So it makes a difference. That 1 point can make a difference, and I always try to make sure I lead at least 1 lap in every race, even if I have to stay out during a pit cycle to get that lap. And that's what I got to do, because especially on a full long season like these 13 race uh, 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 segments that we do, or say 26 races over a Cup Series, or 23 races over Xfinity, that's 26 points or 23 points. So those things add up. It may only seem like 1 point, no big deal, but they definitely add up, and it is a big deal if you manage to do it in every race.
I led mine, Killer, under green. I stayed out longer than everybody. That's how I got mine.
You always seem to manage that fuel run, and you're able to make the tires last long enough to do that. Some of us, we end up having to pit 4, 5, 6 laps before the fuel runs out, just because our tires are going to pop. So, you're always good at that fuel strategy and the tire strategy as well. You've always got a car that's going to let you run that entire fuel run, uh, and have tires to do that. And sometimes you may have a lap or 2 more fuel than the rest of us as well. So that's a strategy that definitely pays off at some tracks, and it's worth being able to do that.
Like you said, I get my 10 points in somehow.
Speaking of points, let's go take a look at our points for the Xfinity Chase. 4 races in to this chase now, and Momo holds the lead 10 points over BSR Pockets. I am in third, down by 17. Mayhem in fourth, down by 20. Hot Rod rounding out the top 5, down by 26. 6 races to go. Pocket's got a little bit of work to do there at 10 points, but that's definitely doable. You know, we've got the Super Speedway coming up here in a couple of weeks. You know, Pockets is looking forward to that, but Momo, a great Super Speedway racer as well. So, Pockets is going to have his work cut out for him trying to make up those 10 points, try to bring home a championship here in 2019.
He'll be looking to salvage this weekend. This is the weekend that he's not looking forward to.
I don't know if I have seen, I think maybe Momo may have run some practice laps here earlier in the season when we were first making sure everybody could get the track and get in. You know, right when we first started doing it a few months back, I think Momo did come in then and run a few practice laps, but I don't think he's got that many practice laps under his belt either. So, you know, like I said, it's going to be real easy for some people to have trouble at this race. And if Momo is one of those guys that has a little bit of trouble, Pockets could, maybe he won't have to salvage. You know, he may do okay and finish a few spots ahead of Momo Friday night. So we'll have to see. We'll see how it goes. Who's going to be able to finish with no damage on their car, and who's going to be able to actually finish all together. So I think that's well, no, we got one more thing to talk about here. So I'm going to put the spotter stand screen back up. Saturday night, we did not run this past Saturday. Still in the off weeks of the team series, but we are going to be picking teams for the team series this coming up Saturday night. It will be a pick and a meet and greet race, so the points won't count towards this series yet, but we will be picking teams and holding a race so that everybody can get familiar with their new teammates, get them set up on Whisper if they need to, and the way we're going to be doing the teams this season. You want to go through that with everybody, Hot Rod?
Yeah, it's not finalized yet, but we're hoping that the regular BSR guys, me, Texan, Pockets, not Momo won't be around because it's winter in football. Joba. So me, Texan, Joba, and Pockets be captains of a team, and then the rest of the teams be randomized picked. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're looking to do this season. We're not sure if we're doing 4 teams or 5 teams. Depends on how many people show up, but that's the plan.
Yeah, so that's going to be brand new. First time that's ever been done in this team series. They've usually always been completely random, but with some of the newer drivers, you know, I just think that's a great way to do it, really, because you could easily end up with a team that's completely new drivers and another team that's completely experienced super speedway racers, and that, you know, that just makes it a lot more fair and even if you divide up the more experienced drivers and put them all on separate teams and then randomly pick who's going to be on each team that way. You know, so that evens the playing field quite a bit.
I just figured it would, if we do it that way with the guys that have been in for a while. Like I know you pay attention to the points and you know what's going on. Same as me, I keep an eye on the points. Know what's going on. Know what we have to do. Teams you have to beat. That kind of stuff. You can help coach the new guys on how to be better team racers. In other words, come back to you to help you get back up to the front, or maybe even when they're a lap down, remind them that they can still push you and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Where all that stuff kind of gets swept away when you're a new guy, you don't really realize all that, and you're in the heat of the battle. So,
yeah, there are so many different kinds of strategies that you can use in these team races. I mean, it definitely strategy can make a big difference in these. You can, just making sure that each one of your teammates leads a lap. Um, that way, whoever happens to be the first finisher, you got that one bonus point for your team, no matter what. And if you have a teammate that is able to lead the most laps in the race, trying to make sure that that guy is the first finisher for your team. Part of that strategy as well, so that you can get not only the lead a lap bonus point for your team, but the lead the most laps bonus point for your team as well. And, even if that guy doesn't end up being the first finisher, at least you take that bonus point away from any other team. Plus like you said, if you're a lap down, you can still help your teammate. Get in there and get in his line, push them, draft with them. There's all different kinds of strategies, and then like you said, knowing the points, knowing which team you need to finish in front of, and which team you can afford to finish behind. Makes a big difference in which line you might be pushing coming up toward the end of that race. Because if you're up on, say, beer bacon, and you're down points to teriyaki, well, it's okay to finish behind beer bacon because you're ahead of them, so long as you manage to finish in front of teriyaki because you're behind them. So all the different strategies that can be used, and the guys that have done it so many seasons definitely be able to help the guys who haven't. And yeah, like I said, I just think that's a great way to do this. And it may not last forever, maybe just a couple of seasons until everybody else is up to par, and then we go back to just a total random things. But at least for this season, maybe even the next one, I think it's a great idea to have the team captains like that and divide up those real experienced super speedway racers so that they don't end up on the same team and just dominating the series, because it's always more fun when the points are close. When your team gets back and you don't feel like you got a chance, it's not the same.
User in your channel
So
timed out.
great idea. I think who was it? I believe it was Eddie. Was it you, Eddie D, that came up with this idea?
No, Gear.
Gear.
Gear was.
It was Gear. So, Gear, we know you're out there watching, and great idea that you had, and I'm glad that it got passed along. And I'm pretty sure that it'll end up being finalized. That's probably the way we're going to end up doing it this season. So, again, great idea, man, and I think it's a great idea. I know Hot Rod does, Eddie does, and I'm pretty sure just about everybody else would agree with it. So, looking forward to this Saturday night, picking brand new teams. We're going to be starting season number 39 of the Team Series race here at Bomb Squad Racing. So, 380 races down. We're going into the race number 381 the week after next, and we'll be 390 races down at the end of season 39. We'll be coming up to another mile marker.
400 will hit next year.
That's right, 400 will hit, and it's not that far away. So it's been a great series for this league.
Yes, Randy.
Long running series, and it's going to be great to get another season started.
Yeah, I know for the team races, I like Gear's idea, and I've been chomping at the bit for us to get teams picked and get back at it again.
Yes, the first official race will be next Saturday night, and it'll be at Daytona. And yes, Randy, we're sticking with the Drunken Cow Jerky cars just because it fits so good, and Scar will have nearly as much work to do.
You will just have to finalize which flavors will be used, but I'm sure we'll do all of that this coming up Saturday night. We'll figure out who are going to be the team captains. We'll randomly pick the rest of the teams. It'll be either 4 teams or 5, depending on how many people show up. So, yeah, Drunken Cow Jerky cars, 4 or 5 different teams. Teams will be picked this Saturday night. So make sure you show up. If you can't show up and you want to be on a team, but you just can't make it this coming Saturday, be sure to let us know, and we'll make sure that you get placed on a team. We'll have somebody fill in for your spot. We'll get you on a team for this coming up season 39. So I think that's about all we got for you guys tonight. We appreciate you all tuning in again and keeping up with the racing action here at Bomb Squad Racing. We're heading into another great week of racing. Tomorrow night we will be racing in the dirt at Canandaigua. We'll be headed on to the Charlotte Road Course on Wednesday and Thursday. And then
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday, excuse me. And then we'll be picking teams on Saturday night for season number 39. So it's been another great week of racing. We're going to start another great week tomorrow. Appreciate everything you guys do for us here, Larry and Eddie. We appreciate you showing up, helping out every week. And we appreciate all you guys who tune in and watch us live out there every week as well. So looking forward to tomorrow night and the rest of the week. We will see you guys on the track at Canandaigua.
See ya.
See ya.